said Elijah Dose over here, so I need to change the name. It said Elijah Dose, so I changed it.
Yeah, press one here. Okay, so I want to see more of your body. Oh, you took it off. The person. The host has turned it off.
Is the one that turned it off?
Yeah.
God has called us out for this time indeed. Ladies and gentlemen all across the globe, I bring you warm greetings from the Edo Royal Troop based in Toronto, Canada. My name is Edith Idemudia, the National Coordinator of the Cultural Troop. I am a descendant of the great Benin Kingdom, Edo State in Nigeria. I am using this the very, very unique opportunity to invite you all to our 2020 edition of the Global Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture Canada. My troop is passionate about showcasing our Edo cultural heritage and also preservation. In this troop, we mainly sing and dance, art scripts, teach, all geared towards promoting public interest in the understanding and appreciation of Black and African arts and culture. We believe it's imperative to uphold our rich cultural heritage and also pass it to the next generation. Ivia domenu zom. Ivia domeni jagan. Ote done waire. Ote dona degbela. Itu wahia fefefe wabebe nege hai. Egebe se ni maado ya dwe ugie. Ori mawe dian. Ugie na tie Global Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture 2020 edition. Ukpona. Mana we ni maado la sefe na hia. Doha muwa. We ikware na ni makuna. Ujedo ma we ni maya timu. Ujedo wi ma je. Nuwala ho. Kenorowa kenorisi. Nuwa vio boji ma iyeke. Na miewe ma we enede emi yari dunao. Mana vedorie otakme na giwawe ewoma agogo na me iroji. Amazewoma tawi norogwa duje doji kakabo norisi walaho wagemiamiwa ruda edo o isiagu edo we agasogedu edo odion edo gawe sogo mabu edo oji odion agagi sogedo edo odion edo menuwa edo ga sogo ma o edo odion agagi sogedo edo odion edo menewa ire edo ga sogo ma o edo odion Obaga tokpe ise o wahia wese o wabida o ise o wahia wese o wabida o
next song comes from Tanzania. It's a song in Swahili, a love song. It simply says, Malaika nakupenda malaika, which simply means, I love you, my angel. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Ningekuoa madiwe, ningekuoa dada. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Pesa zasumbua roho yangu, pesa zasumbua roho yangu, nami nifanyeje kijana mwenzio? Nashinda na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashinda na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Kidege hukuwaza, kidege kidege hukuwaza, kidege nami nifanyeje kijana mwenzio? Nashinda na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashinda na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Ewa, malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Nami nifanyeje kijana mwenzio? Nashindwa na mali sina we, stoki, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Ningekuoa malaika. Ningekuoa malaika.
edition of Global Black and African Festival of Art and Culture, Toronto, Canada. You are all invited. I'm Ambassador Adegboyega Najim Ahmed. I'm the cultural ambassador to the African heritage in Brazil. You are all invited to this conference. I want to bring a chart of Ifa. Ọdúnláwé Ṣẹ́gi, Ọdúnláwé Ṣẹ́gi, Ọdúnláwé Ṣẹ́gi, Ìrùláwé àfàkàn. Àṣẹ ìsàmọ́dún ìní ìsàwárẹ̀ sóko ajá fún Oòduà àtẹwọ̀rọ̀kọ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́. Èyí tí wọ́n ní orúbọ, wọ́n ní ọjẹ́rìnwó odó, wọ́n ní ọjẹ́gbọ́n yọjẹ́ lọ́jọ́ tìmùtìmù. Èyí tí wọ́n ní ọsọdún ọdún nìtàn yóò ṣe tẹ̀mí ìtayàtọmọ. Ọdọọdún là rórógbó, ọdọọdún là ráta, ọdọọdún là rí yẹmọtẹ lórí òwú. Àkànàgbò oko kì í pọdún jẹ àìmọ́là. Pẹ̀tẹ́nì bọ́lẹ̀ olùkirikiri ń bí ti kágbẹ̀lẹ̀lẹ̀ kábídì ìsẹ̀yìnkù kágbẹ̀lẹ̀ kábídì ìsẹ̀yẹja kágbẹ̀lẹ̀ kábídì ìsẹ̀yẹyẹ kágbẹ̀lẹ̀ kábídì ìsẹ̀yẹran kágbẹ̀lẹ̀lẹ̀ kábídì sọ́mọ èèyàn ńlọ́dí fún gbogbo ọ̀kan mọ̀lẹ̀ tí wọ́n lọ mọ́bì wálé ayé èyí ọkọ lọ mọ́bì wá sáyé gbàgbọ́lámú kóbì lọ́nà iṣẹ́ tá a rọ́bì kóbì ọjẹ́ ẹ̀rẹ́. Thank you very much. You are all welcome to this 2020 edition of Global Black African Festival Art and Culture in Toronto. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Hello, I am Dr. Josephine Ebiwa Abe of the Department of Theatre Arts, the acting head of Department of Theatre Arts, University of Benin, Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. I am very proud and glad to be on this unique platform of the 2020, the Global Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture. And the focus of the festival is on the Great Benin Kingdom, quintessence of an ancient civilization. I'm going to be doing a narrative on the Ugewe ceremony of the Benin people. We are looking at its cultural significance. We are looking at history in this discussion to talk about a traditional African festival, which is the Ugewe ceremony I mentioned of the Benin people of Edo State, Nigeria. We want to examine the cultural significance of the ceremony so as to recount history and project the moral and social import of traditional African heritage. The Ugewe ceremony serves both individual and communal needs as it strengthens the bond of friendship between people, encourage peace and harmony, and boosts atmosphere necessary for societal development. The Ugewe ceremony is one of the 8 distinct ceremonies that combines to make the annual Ugeomo number, which is popularly known as Igwe Festival. The Igwe Festival is an avenue for worship, social integration, promotion of peace and tranquility, prosperity and unity among the Benin society. The Igwe Festival is celebrated every year by the Oba of Benin and his people. And the 8 distinct ceremonies that makes the Igwe festivals are the Ugeroba, Otwigwoba, Igwoba, Ugion, Ugemobo, Igwibioba, Igwedoya, and the Ugewe ceremony. 5 out of these ceremonies that I listed above are secluded and restricted to the palace and some specific functionaries. The 6th event, which is the Igwibioba, it's done by princes and princesses in their various homes, while the Igwedoya and the Ugewe ceremonies are performed by the general Benin community. Origin of this Ugewe ceremony. The Igwe festival have been with the Benin people. It has been with the Benin people. In fact, Oba Eware I instituted it as a festival, but the ceremony has always been with the Benin people even before Oba Eware I. The Ugewe ceremony was incorporated into the Igwe festival by Oba Eware, and 2 historical events are connected with the origin of Ugewe ceremony, and both stories, which is Ewe as a leaf and Ewe as a human, comes from the life experiences of Oba Eware I. However, in narrating the origin of this ceremony, the history of how Oba Eware married the 3 beautiful daughters of Ogekai, Ubi, Ewe, and Ojojo, is most popular of the 2 stories that makes the origin. According to history, Prince Ogun, who became Oba Eware I, was to ascend the throne of his father, but certain intrigues in the palace and by the chiefs prevented this, and he had to escape to the bush with his younger brother, Uwaifiokun. But at some point in the bush, he sent his brother to town to check if the situation has calmed. But Uwaifiokun got to the city and lied that his brother was dead. So he was then crowned the Oba. But because he knew that his brother was still alive, he made several attempts to eliminate him so as to stabilize himself as the Oba. But in one of these attempts to eliminate Prince Ogun in the bush, he took coverage under Ewe leaves. The soldiers that sought for him could not find him. But at last, Oba Eware, as Prince Ogun, was able to conquer his brother, and he was made crowned the Oba Eware I. So, but as an Oba, he married Ubi and brought her to the harem with the other wives. But Ubi turned out to be a rude and very terrible woman with very terrible character, causing so much pain and rancor in the palace, thereby causing lack of progress and disturbing the peace of the people. She was returned home to her father in disgrace, with the people cursing and bullying her. It was a ceremony of disgrace with which she was returned home. So, but her younger sister, Ewe, was brought in to replace her. Ewe came into the harem and captivated everyone with her loving, respectful, and charming nature. As her name implies, the meaning of her name means prosperity, peace, peace, especially peace. So as her name implies, she restored peace and harmony, which had eluded the palace while her sister Ubi was there. However, she could not be separated from her sister Oyoyo, who had accompanied her also to the palace. So to keep her and the aura of peace that comes with her, Oba Ewari married her sister. So this is the story of how Oba Ewari I married 3 sisters. Then at the end of the year, when the Benin celebrated the Igwe ceremony, Oba Ugewe was incorporated into its celebration by Oba Ewari to commemorate the event that brought peace to the palace, as well as to wish everyone good luck, as signified by the sharing of Ewe leaves. Subsequently, Obas after Oba Ewari I till date performs the Ugewe ceremony during Igwe festival as a ceremony to cleanse the land of evil and usher in peace as the people enters the new year. We will talk about the performance of Ugewe ceremony. This comes in 2 basic categories, which I call the purification or Ubi rites and the celebration of peace, which is the Ugewe properly. The purification or the Ubi rites begins at dawn at the early hours of the morning between 4:30 to 5:30 a.m., where youths, young men, and women process around the community with palm fronds and brands of firewood to reenact the driving away of Ubi, which signify the warding off of evil and its forces from the land. So this act is accompanied with ritualistic songs and incantations, prayers, movements, and gestures that typify stamping and sweeping. So once the participants are satisfied with the purification exercise, the cleansing objects are cast away into the bush at the outskirts of the community. So this basically dovetail into the second aspect of the ceremony, here which is the celebration of peace. Here the cleansing objects have been thrown away. The participants immediately pluck the Ewe leaves and return to town singing and dancing, as well as visiting homes. They pray for each home. They share leaves, the Ewe leaves, as a symbol of peace, blessing, and progress to individuals, groups, and the entire community. This is followed by general feasting and merrymaking at various homes and social gatherings. People visit and share gifts with each other. Then in the evening, the Ihogbe, which are priests and custodians of Oba ancestral shrine, they present the Ewe leaves to the Oba, which is a sign of peace. The venue of performance of Ugewe, there are basically 2. These are the Oba's palace and every traditional homes, both in the cities and in the villages. Participants in the Ugewe ceremony. The Ugewe ceremony is observed by every Benin man, woman, young men, women, boys, girls, as well as children. Visitors and well-wishers are also welcomed. Dance in Ugewe ceremony. Both the purification rites and the celebration of peace are carried out through some symbolic actions of the body. Dance in the ceremony has no fixed format in terms of movement, a particular style of movement, and flow pattern. That is, one cannot categorically state that a particular style of movement is typical to the ceremony. Rather, movements in the dance are improvised extensions of everyday movement typical of the motor behavior of the people. These include stamping, walking, running, clapping, turnings, and hopping movements. And these movements are usually associated with processional pattern of dance performed by dancers who process from street to street and from house to house. Music in Ugewe ceremony. Songs in the ceremony are very many. They are full of prayers, rebuke, praises, greetings. They are didactic and entertaining in nature. Dancers through the song speak to individuals and groups in the society, which in every house they come into as they share the lives, good things of life, as well as admonishing people to behave in a morally correct fashion. The songs, which are consistently repeated for emphasis, also function to sustain and interpret the mood of the ceremony. The songs are basically into three categories. We have the one for purification rites, we have the one for the procession, and we have the one for the celebration of Ugewe, directly. The purification song is typically one, and it is used during the cleansing and purification rites as people go around the community, and the prayers and chants are simultaneously said to accompany the song. And this major song goes like this: Aze lubire, oso lubire, omambabe lubire. This is a very typical song of the cleansing rite, and it means that all forms of evil, all forms of calamity should go with Ubi, should get out of the community, should leave the community alone so that there will be peace in the community. So that is the basic song of the purification rites. Then the processional songs, we have also a lot in that regard. As dancers move from house to house, they sing songs like Ewe de kenewe, ewe de kenewe. I have said earlier that the meaning of Ewe is peace. Ewe, it's the positive side. It signifies peace, harmony, love. So when they sing Ewe de kenewe, they are telling the owners of the house as they process that Ewe is coming, good luck is coming, peace is coming to your house. Open the door, open up. Ewe de kenewe, Ewe is coming, open up for Ewe. So we also have another song like Ogbe mabe diawo selogbe. Remember, as they are going, they can also sing this song in the celebration. So, but they say, Happy New Year, community. We will live to celebrate next year together. We also have other songs in the celebration songs. This include all the songs in this Ugewe ceremony except for that Ubi rites. So in this in the celebration songs, we sing all the songs, both the one in the processional category and the one that is meant for the celebration. So, and we have such songs. I've sang Ewe Day before, and I've also sang Ogbe Mawe Diawu. We have another one like this. That is reenacting the story between Ewe and Ojojo. Ewe has been brought to the king in the chambers. Ewe, see your sister, Ojojo. We have another song. Iselogbe diawu selogbe diawu diawu selogbe diawu. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, long life, long life. Then we also have some kind of funny songs that could motivate, because as the dancers go from house to house, they could also motivate the occupants of the house. Like, as they go from house to house, they motivate the occupants of the house to give them gifts. These gifts could be either in cash or in other physical gifts. So when they want to motivate, or they have sensed that the occupants want to give them something, or they want to motivate the occupant to give something, they could see songs like this. Orake odibora kiaza, orake odibora kiaza. That is, the occupants, the owner of the house, want to open his safe, to give them money, to give them gifts. We have songs that are specifically for prayers. Songs like Omo kpe ewu wana ise. Omo ewu wana ise. Iriwa mewo wana ise. Ise o, ise o, ise o, ise. So they are saying that no male child, no female child will die in this house. No male child, no female child will die untimely in this house. Wealth in this house. Peace in this house. Prosperity in this house. We have another very funny song when they have sensed that the occupant or the owner of the house has refused to acknowledge them, has refused to appreciate them by giving gifts or money. They could sing such song as Boko Yaka Here Here Emi Doma Here Here. This is used to denote selfishness, someone that is selfish. We will go into this cultural significance of this ceremony. We want to talk about the importance, the cultural importance of Ugewe ceremony. And then when we talk about it, we are looking at how the ceremony reflects the peculiar ideas, customs, and attitudes of the Bini people. Ugewe, the performance of Ugewe has a lot to impart on the Benin people and visitors. One, it is a means of enculturation, cultural learning, which comes by teaching and observation. So when our people see this ceremony, they are taught our culture. And the knowledge of one's culture, cultural learning, helps us function properly in our society. The ceremony creates, that is, this ceremony, Ugewe, creates a cultural awareness in people and help them learn their culture. It also reenacts our history. That is the second cultural significance. It teaches the history to the people. Yes, some persons may have known this ceremony, but some do not have idea of the ceremony. So an enactment of this ceremony teaches the people the history of the people. And a knowledge of our past helps us to understand our present, which could also help inform the decisions we make for the future. Therefore, through the performance of Ugewe, our children get to learn about who we are. 3, the reenactment of Ugewe ceremony is a means of documentation, serve as a means of documentation and preservation of our cultural heritage. 4, Ugewe is a multimedia outlet of information because through its performance, we learn a lot about our cultural history and identification as we learn about our language. We learn through also our songs. We learn our dances, and we also learn our mode of dressing. When you watch this ceremony, you see that all of these are embedded in the ceremony. The performance of Ugewe also engages people in a mutual interaction that brings about better acquaintances. Again, it encourages self-worth through the knowledge of one's identity. It encourages social stability through the promotion of peaceful coexistence. A stable society brings about some kind of changes that serve to improve on the state of affairs of the society. Social stability encourages and rewards behaviors that work for the good of the society, as well as discourages unwholesome behavior. The performance of Ugewe again teaches our children the need to have good character, as exemplified in Ewe as a character. So it brings about ideas and individuals who work for the peace and tranquility of the society. The performance of Ugewe teaches also the girl child to make a good home by having good behavior. It brings about the quality of being able to make a good home by emulating the behavior of Ewe. The performance of Ugewe creates and enhances communality because it strengthens bond of friendliness as the people converge for a common cause. Ugewe ceremony is a unique source of tourism for the people because it is a pleasurable sightseeing for visitors and the people. I would like to emphasize on this, a little, because sometimes we do not really see the benefit of some of these our historical performances. A reenactment of these performances can serve economic benefit to the society. For instance, when Igwe, which has all this ceremony, is performed, we have a lot of visitors in Benin, and that can boost the economic viability of a place, because we have a lot of visitors. We have the indigenes that are in other places that come for the ceremony. And sometimes when people go for sightseeing, they lodge in hotels, they use transportation, they eat food, they visit one or two historical places. During this ceremony, we have people coming in. They even go to Igun Street, where we have our artworks. They buy one or two artworks. So, and these are monies being spent in that society. So, encouraging the performance of these ceremonies brings about tourism that can help develop and bring some kind of financial benefit to that community. The performance of Gewe is a source of development because it creates room for people to visit their villages. And in so doing, they discover areas they can bring about progress to such community. Generally, this Gewe ceremony is very symbolic. It reiterates the need to exhibit high sense of responsibility and commitment when we occupy positions of authority. We should bear in mind that as leaders, our actions have the propensity to cause societal growth and development, and as well as unrest, as we can see from the two characters of Ubi and Ewe. It is obvious from this ceremony, from the way Ubi's attitude affected the society, that being self-centered like Ubi do not help the society to grow at all. Rather, it plunges it into a more chaotic situations. So this kind of ceremony reiterates in us the need for us to serve properly, knowing that to a very large extent, the joy of other persons depends on the way we react and the way we behave. The Ugewe ceremony is thus a symbolic representation of the driving away of evil forces as represented by Ubi, and the ushering in of peace as represented by Ewe. This means that as the year comes to an end, evil forces are whisked away, they are cleansed away, and there is an expectation of peace, which is social stability, as the people enters the new year. So generally, or conclusively, I would like to state that the observance of Ugewe ceremony as a cultural heritage, therefore, is an avenue for ensuring social stability, as it serves to reiterate the need to have a peaceful and harmonious society by eschewing evil. Let me generally end this presentation by singing one of the songs, or one or two of the songs of this ceremony. Ewe de kinewe, ewe de kinewe, ewe gyomobuga, ewe gojojo, kodewe ore mana, kodewe ore mana. There's another one I didn't sing. Omewe jewe emewe gbe, omewe jewe emewe gbe, omewe jewe emewe gbe, omewe. I implore you to come to Benin City. I implore you to come to Benin Kingdom. We have a lot of ceremonies. Ugewe is just one of them. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be part of this. Thanks.
Oye, Shahuyonya. Ya wuru so magagwa ha onye isi ahụ onye nwụrụ anwụ ya ebe akwa ndere ndụ. O wotu ome. Ganiru.
Thank you. I am Chris Society, a guru, a historian, a researcher, a graphic specialist, consultant, and practitioner. The manager, Revelation Tourist Palazzo, Edo State, Nigeria, is one of Africa's foremost and most prestigious tourist center. Today, and on behalf of the Global Black and Africa Festival of Art and Culture, Toronto, Canada, I have the added privilege researcher, a graphic specialist, consultant, and practitioner. The manager, Revelation Tourist Palazzo, Edo State, Nigeria, is one of Africa's foremost and most prestigious tourist center. Today, and on behalf of the Global Black and African Festival of Art and Culture, Toronto, Canada, I have the added privilege to present to the entire human race one of the heroines in the black race that had impacted profoundly and positively in every segment of the society, both at local and at the global stage. I have the honor to present this great woman. But before then, let me quickly lay this preamble. Oba Ozolwa was the father of Oba Esigi. Before the emergence of Oba Ozolwa, whenever an Oba joined the ancestors, it was obviously customary for the Edo people to make the wives go the same direction, that's just the same way, to enable them assist their husband in ruling in a bigger kingdom. But it got to a point when in 1504, the kingdom witnessed the exit of Oba Ozolwa. It became necessary to have another coronation that will usher in another Omonoba based on the system of primogeniture that was and that is still in vogue or in practice. Queen Edia, in the course of that coronation, in fact, during the burial of Oba Ozolwa, was going to pass through the same direction as the husband. But there was an intervention from the son who insisted that nothing should happen to the mother, who had been there for him, who had been so passionate about him, about his existence, who had helped the kingdom, who had contributed so assiduously to the furtherance of the growth of this great Benin kingdom. He insisted that nothing should happen to his mother. And so all the stakeholders, including the Uzamani here, they all sat down to deliberate on this very sensitive and vital issue. Omonoba insisted that he will not compromise the death of the mother. And so, after a serious and long deliberation, it was eventually, they came to a compromise. One, if your mother will have to leave, which is a breach of our custom, you will not see her. You only perceive her existence, but you will never ever confirm that existence by physical contact. Omonoba acceded to this. In as much as my mother is alive, she will continue to contribute to the growth of this great kingdom. And so it was accepted. Hence, the Iyesigi became the first Iyoba whose palace was actually built at Uselu for the persistency and the adamants of the sun. Now back to Iyesige. It was crystal clear that at the time she sojourned with the husband of Ozolwa, at the time during the reign of Oba Ozolwa, when she served as Oloi or Esoneria, it was crystal clear that she was one of those few women, in fact, she was the only woman who stuck out her neck in terms of warfare. She went to the battlefield to fight like a man, like a strong warrior. And she proved at different points to be a heroine of no mean repute. She had a good scorecard, beautiful scorecard when it comes to warfare, a feminine of note. She was assiduously attached to the good welfare of the Benin nation, the great Benin nation. And so, eventually, when the son took over between 1504 and 1550, there was another war. Another war that reared up its ugly head against the kingdom, a threat to the security of the land. And so the queen, Idia, was disturbed. She did not want to sit down at home to listen to the prosecution of that war. She wanted to be physically present. She wanted to be part of that war. And so it was. It is often said in Bini, in other words, this great woman had been endowed with so much wisdom. And the wisdom reflected when Ida warriors decided to fight against the people, the Benin kingdom. It reflected. She went to Igueomo and according to her pattern, she ordered them to produce what they call a mwemwe. A mwemwe would be the semblance, a kind of sculptural piece that could appear in bronze. And so she ordered them that it should be done in such a way that the mwemwe will look like a human being, a human warrior. I mean, a warrior, a typical Benin warrior. So it was. After the design, it was taken to Ikboba Hill. On the day of that battle, Queen Idia led the Bini warriors to the Ikboba River forest, the forest at Ikboba River. There, they all laid ambush. And the Emwemwe, the sculptural piece, was stationed, smiling and ready to fight. As soon as the Ida warrior got closer, the closer they got to it, the more they started shooting. Look at one of them. Let us kill him before we destroy the rest of them. They shot from the distance. Their bows and arrows, they shot. And they used their spears, called umuzo. They tried everything from dawn to dusk, they shot, but all to no avail. The Emweme kept on smiling, but they were shocked to their bones. They never knew that the Emweme was not a human being, was not a physical, was not a warrior with life. They never knew that. They were totally oblivious of it. And so what followed was that, having shot their weapons, they became so scared, they didn't know what to do. It was that period, Queen Idia ordered the warriors to come out from the ambush, and they began to pursue the Ida warriors. In fact, they pursued them. As they were pursuing them, those that were close their heads were cut off, heads rolled. And those that were far off, they would throw their spear, they would throw their bows. In fact, they killed them with their bows and arrow until they got to River Benue. And so, having completed the onslaught of the Ida warriors, having conquered, they decided to return back to the Benin Kingdom. But then, there was the need to set up another town. In plain Benin language, Queen Idia ordered some of the virile men, young men, some of the young warriors to stay. She said it in a plain Benin language, Warabode. And that was corrupted to Agenebode. That place eventually became known as Agenebode. It was founded by Queen Idia. So the people of Agenebode, they existed by virtue of the reproductional processes carried out by the Bini warriors. So we can as well safely say they are Beninese. And so they came back in triumph. Queen Idia triumphed. She prevailed against the enemies of the great Benin Kingdom. She was able to maintain the territorial integrity, to secure the territorial integrity of the great kingdom of Benin. And that is the reason why, till date, she remains a woman that is highly adored in the kingdom. In fact, all over the world, she's highly adored. She's respected across the globe. She has become a paradigm to womanhood, to the female folks. She has proven in all its entireties that whatever a man can do, a woman can possibly do it even better. I'm not trying to encourage women liberation, because to the best of my knowledge, never has there been a time women have been in chains. But then it depends on matters. It's a matter of the heart, a matter of the mind. But Queen Idia has proven to be a woman of substance. In our modern world, in 1969, there was the World Black Festival of Arts that was carried out in Algiers, the capital of Algeria. The black people across the globe assembled. After the huge success recorded in Algiers 69, it became expedient and necessary to have a comeback of that same event. Thus, in 1977, in the time of former president, in the time of General Olusegun Obasanjo, he actually welcomed all black people across the globe to Nigeria for the second World Black Festival of Arts and Culture. Hitherto, there was need to have a common logo. Since it was going to be held in Nigeria, they needed a Nigerian logo across the north, south, east, or west. The organizers sourced out for deserving logos, and they felt the need to use a female logo, the female folks being the mothers of the nation. And so they needed just one personality. And they combed the whole country. They brought several logos. They brought several masks to check for approval. The Moremi mask was brought from Ife. But after all said and done, it became obvious that the very best and the one with the most buoyant track record was that of Queen Idia. Queen Idia's mask was eventually chosen. Hence, she became the face of the Benin Kingdom, the face of the Nigerian people, the face of the African people, the face of the global society. She became a woman of distinction, a woman that is highly revered, that is referred to as a paradigm of no mean repute. That is exactly what Queen Idia stood for, a veteran, a war veteran to the core. It is said in Benin, and she had proven it beyond every reasonable doubt. Till date, I cannot remember, perhaps maybe when we talk about iron ladies, we're talking about Margaret Thatcher of Britain. But she never went to the battlefield. But in the same vein, we can as well have women, because that great woman, Queen Idia, had impacted so profoundly in womanhood, as far as the female folks are concerned, all over the world. And so it is necessary to tap from her avalanche of successes recorded by her in times like that. And in times like this, we can also have a replay. Queen Idia, we can tag her as the mother of Africa. We can still tag her as the mother of the world. She hailed from the great Benin Kingdom. The original mask was carved out in ivory. The Ibisama wood carvers also had to their kitty ivory carving. They carved it out. However, there were some that were produced in bronze. To date, they are scattered all over the world. All over the world. The That mask has become so important to the global society. And so, in reference to this great woman, contemporary musicians have had to sing her praise. I've had to eulogize this great woman. And that was one of the things that a foremost entertainer, professor, global entertainer, Professor Sir Victor Wifo, PhD and JP did when she came up with that song. Oh yeah, yeah, senior woman. Yeah, see, gonna up your pa. Hey, oh yeah, yeah, senior woman. If you go through the lyrics, what does it mean? The mother of Esigi, who had Esigi in her womb, she had kings, the Oba in her womb. She produced Oba Esigi. She was the one who produced other Obas. She produced grandchildren. She was the grandmother of our Oba Ihenguda. That great woman remains revered. Her pictures are done everywhere. Now, they haven't scrolled. If you look at the mark so closely, you have some figures designed. If you count, they are 11 in number. But the original mask, in fact, the original mask had 11. But in 1897, when the British looted the court arts that we had in the palace of the Omonoba, they looted those artifacts. About 2,500 ivories were looted from the palace, and another 2,500 bronze works were taken away from the palace of the Omonoba in the time of Ovorame. Suffice it to say that one of these masks executed in ivory as the medium of expression was the mask of Quinadia. The original one had 11 heads. But before it moved from here to British Museum, one of those heads pulled off. And so today it had 10 heads because of the absence of one. That year, 1977, when it became necessary to use it as our global logo, they ordered for it. The federal government under Chief Olusegun Obasanjo ordered for it. Unfortunately, the British government refused. They demanded for about £970,000. And that was the reason why our president, our head of state then, asked them to keep it. And now came to Benin to source out for an artist that could replicate it. And so that was how eventually this man of honor, an artist of note in Benin Kingdom, that was how he was employed. I'm talking about one Joseph Alufa. He was the one who eventually replicated the original that was used to celebrate Festac 77. So I'm happy today that I'm doing this on behalf of the Global Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, Toronto in Canada. It is my utmost pleasure to do this. Thank you.
Come